Good morning, everybody. Ace of Trades here again today, March 6th. The Bible says in Book of Proverbs, chapter 6, verses 16 to 19, "These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him: a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that deviseth wicked imaginations, feet that be swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among the brethren." So in the chart, I don't even have an overnight low marked because you're clearly just in a big downtrend. I just put the highs up here. Um, so you can see this. Here's this big spike is that 8:30 non-farm payrolls came out uh, quite unfavorably, I guess, against what they were expecting. So you got this spike down, and there you can see why you don't want to be in a trade there whenever something like that comes out, because it can definitely wipe you out and even what do I want to say, slip your stop, um, and you could lose a lot more than you're actually bargaining for. So this looks like this is holding pretty well, but clearly we're in a range down here. Let's just dive in a little bit closer. Um, so I put this on here. I don't know if this is going to be a range high or not. We could be getting 2 legs up here to the other side, and then we'll have something to think about when that happens. Just do this. So you see there's a lower high here. This is bad context for this lower high, because even with all this downward momentum, you see how there's support right here. So you're shorting into support. And there's not really, any downtrend or any new low that you're expecting for any structure. So yeah, I just wouldn't take that because it's just a pattern. It's not a pattern set up off of any context. So looks like a strong push up here. Maybe if we got a lower high off this second leg up, think about taking that there. What do we have? 8 minutes till open. Looks like this is trying to hold here. But I'm not going to sit here. I don't want these videos to get super long. So I'll just unpause it when something interesting happens. But that's where we're at right now, just waiting for the open. Still in that huge downtrend, and maybe possibly we could have this range to play, but this is pushing way down way too far now. The bar is way too huge to do anything with, and now you'd be going into, if you took a short here, you'd be shorting down into the middle of the range, which is, it's always dangerous when you're in the middle of something. So no guarantee that that's just going to plummet down to the other side. You want to short up here is the place to short, not way down here. Okay, real quick, we can just see that after we had the open, we poked up through here, pushed down to a new low. Now to try to trade off something this huge and start picking stuff, you kind of need to get dialed in a little bit more near term, but just be aware of what's happening here. So, you could probably consider this to be a break, small break in a new low. We can see here now that it's just been really choppy after that. Prices tried to push up through this support level that I had drawn here once, twice, and has failed so far. It's still very choppy. You want to be just watching this level, and so now that we failed to push up, maybe we get additional downward momentum, but this is just very choppy. If you get zoomed way in, based on the type of stops and targets you're looking for, you could get chopped to pieces in here. So we're looking for clean price action to show up. So far, it's just been kind of choppy since we opened. All right, time for an update here. So after we got out of this chop, We pushed up, got a bunch of there's a little range here, and then we pushed down. We got the second leg up. My guess is it's got very, you didn't get anything real clean here. It pushed down into the EMA, and it's just kind of riding. It's not coming back to the EMA, it's just kind of riding it. My guess is here that you're going to get some kind of relief now down. I don't know if this will just continue to end up, you know, make a lower, make a like a major higher low and try to continue working up. But now with two big legs up, um, it's probably now we're starting to go sideways here. This is probably at least temporarily running out of gas, and maybe we can get a chance to get something on the way down here if we get something to sit up. Unfortunately, this didn't. This is I mean, when you zoom out, this lower high is just it's not good enough because you're right into it doesn't even close below this level here where we had like a little bounce. So you might get one of these deals where it just kind of chugs sideways and you could just get wicked out of that. You kind of have to look at um, what's the with respect to how big the move is, what's your like setup area looking like? And that's just very um, I guess, small compared to the legs you're dealing with. And so the price action there, you can just get kind of whipped out of there. It could end up, you could be right overall, but your timing might be off. So I'd be looking for something a little bit sharper up into that measured move with a little bit better looking lower high than this that's inside of all this. These bodies are just kind of stacked up here like that. So it's a little bit of a nuance, but that's just, I didn't take anything here. But this looks like this may be starting to weaken, and so we might get something back down here now. All right, so we should say price did not really respond here to this. Once the EMA caught up and hit, it just bounced right off there. So, you have to be able to change gears, switch gears when things don't work out like you think. So it looks like now we're grinding up here higher. It could be that this was a break, and you can see the sideways chop how we ranged for a while, and now we're just kind of pushing higher. So um, if you look back, I think at the other days, this seems to be the MO for the market, um, where you'll get steep sell-offs earlier on, and then at some point, it could be like later in the afternoon. It looks like it's happening right now. It tries to rally. The thing about bull rallies is they're not because of the way the market moves up versus down. You tend to get more of a grind when you're going up, and it makes it difficult to trade because the market doesn't really correct a lot. It doesn't move real sharp when it's kind of I guess, in a bull trend typically, where when you get the moves down in a bear market, you get these nice moves down, and just kind of like trading the bear market or the not bear market, but the bear moves a little bit better because the bull market it just doesn't. You can see here is this or the bull trends. It's just not creating much of a lot of overlapping bars, not much of a correction, and then just pushes up sideways, pushes up, and you're getting a lot of overlap, not much clean corrections. So, we hit this measured level. We, the sellers tried to come in. It couldn't make it through the EMA and pushed up again. So we'll have to watch for hopefully you get some kind of bullish structure develops that you can find something to take a trade off of. Um, and who knows, this may, peter out at some point because, maybe this is just a correction for this big move down. Uh, get rid of that thing. So if we do something like this, okay, and let's just say our low is down here, you know, like we've seen earlier in the week, how sometimes on these bigger structures you'll get bigger corrections that come into play. So, we're approaching 50. Another common one is the 61.8. So, you never know. This could be a correction for this bigger downtrend, and maybe it starts pushing back down here. Again, you heard me say it, you just have to follow the price action. We want clean movements in the price, and we want clean corrections that we can identify, that are over, we can get in on. All right, so we were in this area. We got these two steep legs down. If you wanted to draw that as a bigger trend, it doesn't really fit very well. Um, then you got this move up, broke, made a new high, reversed. I was looking at two legs back here, and it just collapses there. So unfortunately, it just the way the price action is moving and printing, so far today, you're on this size chart, you're getting these massive bars, and the whole retest, or the whole second leg of correction, and then almost the retest is all in one bar. So there's not really an opportunity, unfortunately, to get in on this second leg. And it's a good spot anytime you get like one sharp leg down and then you get two clear legs of correction. It's always a good spot to try for a runner on a measured move. It's just how prices work. When you get these clear moves, clear leg down, clear correction of one leg, first attempt, clear correction of a second leg, second attempt. Usually it's a good spot to try for these, for this then to be a measured move off of this area. So, yeah, unfortunately, didn't set up there. So we'll just wait and see. Let's do an update here. So, um, last time I talked about how this little push down didn't set up. We end up forming a double bottom here. We get this leg up, bunch of congestion here, bounces off the EMA, comes back up into here, into this area where you've got uh, this resistance. And so I'm looking for a lower high off here. Got room to the EMA. Don't get the lower high again. Talk about these are aggressive because you never know exactly where the high is going to be until you get like a lower high confirming the price is going to start uh, heading doing a little bit of retracing. So that's aggressive there. You don't have much room to this little level here where prices bounced before, and so it's kind of ugly there. And then you get this push down, so you're expecting now perhaps that prices, we're looking at this level here, prices come down. But you get one push down and then it almost completely retraces. And then you get this, which just hesitant on that because if prices didn't come back down to the other side, you're already pushing back up. I'm just not understanding what's going on, what's happening. So I'm a little hesitant about shorting there. You don't have a whole lot of room to the EMA. This is two legs, but I just don't understand what's going on. So when I don't understand what's going on, I'm not going to do anything no matter what something looks like. So we end up running back down here, and you do get this break and you get this push. Again, here's another aggressive one. Here's you're starting, it looks like you could be forming support here. Um, have some room to the EMA. It's not, you don't have a higher low yet, which with the EMA this close, by the time you would get a higher low, it's probably too close then. But there's another one. That's an aggressive one, and off this support. Um, so you got, it doesn't make it all the way back up. Pushes back down, cannot push through the EMA, and now we push out. Still have to be careful of a range fade, but notice that we haven't been able to come back up. Couldn't get back to the top here. Couldn't push through the EMA here. That doesn't mean there's not some kind of weird two legs down and now it's going to start pushing higher. It looks like it tried to push up here and now it's struggling. Just again, congested right there. Getting a lot of overlapping bars, even with how large they are. Um, so yeah, I haven't taken anything yet today. This was the only one I really thought about entering on, and I just passed it up. So that's all I got right now, and we'll just kind of follow price action, see what happens. If we get something here, like this is only looks like one chance to me. If we get something here where we push up, looks like we're trying to push back out, and then we get some kind of other push up that looks like it's failing, I may go with that, but you just have to be careful here because of the potential range fade. All right, let's just talk about here what's happened. We left off in this area down here. Price pushed strongly back up into this resistance. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times it's come up to this area. Every time it comes up, it sells back off. Now this is sold off very hard. Now it's the strongest push down we've had since we started finding resistance up here. So we came up here, I circled this lower high because I was looking at something here, but the bar just finishes ugly. It doesn't finish good. You got stem on both sides, so I don't know if prices are going to bounce around here. I was looking for something to close down here and would have liked to take that. Then drew this. We didn't really get anything here. Got a second leg down. I wasn't here when this printed. I I want to think I would have taken that, given how we're bouncing off the tops and bottoms here, and this has tried to push up through the EMA, tried to push up again, printed a nice uh, bar here with close and low, so probably figuring that you're at least going to retest back down here again. So, and then it just kind of bounces around really ugly. It comes back up here, and now we just dumped back down. So the thing is, there's clearly resistance here. There's not any clear support anywhere around here. Sometimes it pushes down here, sometimes here, here. So I'm not against, because we don't have any clear support. I'm not against taking a trade for this to try to push down again, because I'm not really trading into any clear support. And it may be based on how hard this is sold, the buyers may be giving up on trying to push through there today. So we may get we may just finish with momentum to the downside, or may find some strange area here and bounce again. But anyway, that's where we're at now, and I'll probably, unless something happens, I'll probably just have a post-market update because it's about 45 minutes till 4. Okay, let's wrap it up for the week. So, long story short, I missed this trade here. Um, uh, we got this move down. We got 2 legs, and I was kind of surprised like how quickly at the end of this bar it just shot up. And I was sitting here thinking, did I miss something with this range? I know there's no clear support, but is something, are prices for some reason treating this as a support level? Because we've been going back and forth here, not consistently off the highs, but not consistently off the lows. So I thought, did I miss something? By the time I've thought about whether or not I had, this was already down here on this bar, and so I hesitated on this one. I had an order sitting here, and this shot up so fast at the end of the bar. I was wondering, is there just a bunch of buying coming in? Am I going to get trapped here? Did I miss something? So I just whiffed on this one here. That's probably the best trade I think all week that I've seen. I'm not going to think about it right now, but so yeah, I missed that, and then probably like a 17-point runner because it just collapses down, hits this measured move, goes a little bit further, and then tries to reverse. And I was looking at this here, but this finished pretty weak. You can see it ends up pushing down to a to another leg. Like it's not strong enough. It's pretty steep. So I passed on that guy because the bar is pretty weak. Um, it would have, based on my target, what I go for, I would have got out of there easily. Um, but it was looking for a bigger second leg and then tried to launch up a second one. The other thing that concerned me too is that, we're pushing back up into, again, there's no clear support here, but we're pushing up to an area where prices had a couple times bounced off. So I wasn't sure if we were just going to get rejected off that level, especially with the huge move down. Um, but that's about it for today. I've covered everything else on the chart throughout the day. So that stinks. Almost had a big one, and I just hesitated too long. So we'll be back again next week. So there were some opportunities this week, mostly aggressive trades. Um, there's probably a handful, probably half dozen that were acceptable to try to take. Um, but I just did not. Um, that's just how my risk profile is. I'm trying to get better with being a little bit more aggressive. And that was pretty good too. And I wasn't I was distracted or wasn't at the desk at that time. But that'll be it for the week, and I'll see you guys again next week.